There's a new weapon in Destiny 2 that is causing a lot of people to argue. Today I'm going to go over that weapon and put it up against the other weapon everyone's comparing it to and decide which one you should use once and for all. Our two competitors are the Undercurrent and the reigning champion that makes PvE players gush when it walks down the streets, Forbearance. Both weapons are arc waveframe launchers that have a really similar role in the sandbox. Does one completely eliminate the need for the other? Let's start with Undercurrent. If I had to give a gold star to one gun for maybe being a tad more flexible in its role, it would probably be the Undercurrent. Even though a lot of people are probably going to land on one role, it does have options. In column 3, I'd say almost every perk is at least somewhat viable, but the ones getting eyeballed the most are Lead from Gold, Ambitious Assassin, and Demolitionist. Demo gives you grenade energy back on a kill, but more importantly lets you auto-reload your launcher after chucking a nade, which is great because reloading is annoying and terrible. Ambitious Assassin overflows the mag after getting a kill and then reloading the gun. If you're new to the wonderful world of waveframe grenade launchers, you literally only need one kill with your launcher in order to trigger overflowing the mag, and that'll take you from 1 to 2 in the chamber every time. Might not seem like a lot, but with the low activation criteria, you can get Ambitious working pretty much 24/7, and like Demo, it helps you reload less, which is great. Lead from Gold is kind of a different vibe. Go for that if you're worried about running out of ammo for your launcher. In column 4, the unquestionable god roll perk is High Ground, one of the most OP perks in the game. Only people with really huge dicks. I can't even finish the bit. Yeah, the 4 perks people are eyeballing in column 4 are Volt Shot, One for All, Bait and Switch, and Junkie. Volt Shot is kind of the main we have Forbearance at home perk contender, leaning hard into the group ad clear role. Just get a kill, reload, and then the next shot you fire will jolt nearby targets. Nice. More on Volt Shot a little bit later. One for All, Bait and Switch, and Junkie are all extra damage dealing options, which I don't think I like for the gun as much, because in most content, this grenade launcher is probably going to hit ads fairly hard anyways. Bait and Switch is probably a perk that seems oddest to me to use on this grenade launcher. I mean, don't get me wrong, I get the appeal. More damage is always better. But Bait and Switch is kind of a perk I have perma-tied in my head to power weapons. It's the perk you activate during a DPS phase to get 35% more juice out of your rocket launcher or something. Activating it on a waveframe and then DPSing mid-level enemies for the next 10 seconds seems weird to me. Also seems weird using both your primary and your power weapon to activate a damage spree on your special. But then again, who am I to judge? Junkie and One for All, again, extra damage, but activated different ways. Pick your poison. The role most people are chasing on this bad boy is probably Ambitious Assassin and Volt Shot. In fiddling around with the Undercurrent, I found I liked it more than I thought I would. As predicted, Volt Shot was pretty good in the crowd control department. Kind of felt like I was running a junior Forbearance. One thing I'll say about the Undercurrent though is that Volt Shot in particular makes you feel like you're missing out a bit more on overall potential if you're running the gun on not an arc class. And yeah, you can jolt enemies on a non-arc build, but the fragments offered in the arc kit really synergize well with Volt Shot to the point where a non-arc build and this launcher feel kind of lacking. And on that note, let's talk about Forbearance. The weapon I can only imagine has got to be reaching recluse or mountaintop level discussions from the Bungie sandbox team at this point. To put it bluntly, Forbearance is really popular in PvE, maybe even one of the best special weapons in the entire game. And whereas Undercurrent may have a few different options, most players mainly go with one role on Forbearance, maybe 2. Either Unrelenting Chain Reaction, which is probably the less popular version, or Ambitious Assassin Chain Reaction, which is definitely the more popular role. Forbearance is such a head empty, clear the room with no effort gun, it's kinda crazy. You're overflowing the mag basically every time you use the gun, and if there's any ads near each other, Chain Reaction just blows everybody away. And like I mentioned earlier, whereas Volt Shot really feels much better when comboing with an Arc 3.0 build, Chain Reaction feels pretty damn good on almost any build. Just another reason why people enjoy using the gun so much. Not only is it freaking disgusting, but it's a borderline skeleton key that fits into most locks. If we're comparing only the performance of both weapons, yeah, I'd have to say Forbearance is better. But this isn't like comparing a $500 bottle of Merlot to a bag of toilet brewed prison wine. Not that I would know, but I'm saying, yeah, even though I think Forbearance is the stronger performer overall, Undercurrent is not bad as a replacement option.
But Fallout, if one is clearly better than the other, why would you even want the other one?
Good question, because I think you should look outside of just performance and also think about how you get these weapons. Undercurrent can be obtained from just running Nightfalls, unless you want the Adept and then it's Grandmaster time, while Forbearance can only be obtained by raiding. I know a lot of people are very intimidated by the concept of raiding in general, which I totally get. It can be stressful if you're new and you don't know what to do, and players can be mean or condescending or douchey. And if you're the type of player who isn't yet ready to try raiding, yeah, I think you'd be fine to try and get an Undercurrent and see if you like it. I will say though that if you're afraid of raiding but still want to get an Adept Undercurrent, I'd say just bite the bullet at that point. I had to do the revamped Lake of Shadows Grandmaster to get the Adept version of the Undercurrent, and even though you can still burn down the boss pretty quick, it just sucks to run that strike on the Grandmaster level. It just really sucks. I'll also say that if you've never raided before, I think it's actually a good time to give it a try right now. Bungie has that new in-game LFG feature, and according to Bungie themselves, the initial test run had actually pretty good and successful results. Definitely a potential time commitment to raid, but who knows, you might enjoy it and get a really good piece of loot. Also, Forbearance is craftable, so even if you run the raid a few times and don't get the drop you want, you can eventually just craft the weapon. But yeah, otherwise, sure, go for Undercurrent. Way easier to farm and still not a bad gun overall by any means. Let me know down in the comment section which weapon you like more and why. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.